So today in science subject we are going to learn about a new chapter that is air around us. Have you seen that? No, we cannot see that, but we can feel that. Yes, I can feel the air on my palm. And when I inhale, at that time also, and when I exhale, that time also, I can feel that. Now, fan. So when I rotate it, then also I can feel the cool air. So we will learn about air, wind, importance of air pollution, composition of air, and how do living organisms in the water and in the soil take oxygen from the air. So let us begin. Come along with me.
Let's start with the chapter 15 Air Around Us. We have learned in chapter 9 that all living things require air. But you ever seen air? You might have not seen air, but surely you must have felt in presence in so many ways. You notice it when the leaves of the tree rustle, or the clothes hanging on a clothesline sway. Pages of an open book being fluttering when the fan is switched on. The moving air makes it possible for you to fly your kite. Do you remember activity 3 in chapter number 5 in which you separated the sand and sawdust by winnowing? Winnowing is more effective in moving air. So this is the process where the air is very important to remove the sawdust and the sand from the grain. You may have noticed that during storms the wind blows at very high speed. It may even uproot trees and blow off the rooftops. Have you ever played with the firki? Let's make a firki of our own, following the instruction. Hold the stick of the firki and place it in different direction in an open area. Move it little back and forth. Observe what happens. Does the firki rotate? What makes a firki rotate? It's the moving air, isn't it? Have you seen a weathercock? It shows the direction in which the air is moving at that place. From all these activity we comes to know about the presence of air. Is air present everywhere around us? Close your fist. What do you have in it? Nothing. Try the following activity to find out. Take an empty bottle or a glass, you whatever. Take a container with water. Take an empty glass and you can have an empty bottle also. Now put the glass in the water straight. So, can you see the water entering the glass? No. Now, till the glass slightly. Does the water enter now into the glass? Do you see the bubbles coming out of the water? And now you can guess what was in the bottle. Yes, you are right. It's air that was present in the glass. The glass was not empty at all. In fact, it was filled completely with air. Even when we close our fist is not empty, it is full of air. That is why you notice that water does not enter the bottle when it is pushed in an inverted position. Okay, when we put it straight, the water do not enter the glass. But when we little till the glass, the air escapes from the glass in the form of bubbles, and water filled up the empty space that air has occupied in the glass. Now, this activity that air occupies space, it fills all the space in the bottle. It is present everywhere around us. Air has no color, but we can see through it as it is transparent. Our Earth is surrounded by a thin layer of air. This layer extends up to many kilometers above the surface of the Earth and is called atmosphere. The Earth atmosphere is the layer of the gases which protects the Earth from the radiation and cosmic rays coming from the outer space. As we move higher in the atmosphere, the air gets rarer, means the air becomes less and less. Now, can you think mountaineers carry oxygen cylinder with them while climbing high mountains? As we go higher and higher above the surface of the earth, the thickness of air becomes less. At the top of the high mountains, oxygen is less. Mountaineers carry oxygen cylinder with them. So this is the reason why they carry oxygen cylinder, because as we go higher in the atmosphere, the air gets rarer. What is air made up of? Until the 18th century, people thought that the air was just a substance. Experiments prove that it is really not so. Air is a mixture of many gases. What kind of mixture is it? Let us find out about some of the major components of this mixture one by one. So we will find out what are the components of air and what is air made up of. What are the things that consist in air? So first is water vapor. We already know water vapor. When you remove a cold bottle from a freezer, so what happens? You can see the water droplet outside the surface of the bottle. So this is water vapor as it comes in the contact with the outer atmosphere normal temperature. So it condensed, what the air condensed to water vapor. Now let us see about the oxygen. In the presence of your parents, please do the activity. Fix two candles at the sum of the length on a table. Light both the candles. Cover one of the candle with an inverted glass tumbler. Observe both the candles carefully. Now, when you put the all the both the candles are burning. Now put one glass on one of the candle. So when you put the glass, let us observe what happens here. Do both the candles continue to burn or go off? See, the other candle is going slowly. So you must have observed that the candle covered with the glass tumbler got extinguished after some time, whereas the other candle continued burning. What can be the reason for this? So here we can say that the component which was required for the candle to burn was now no more. मतलब जो भी component of air चाहिए था burning के लिए वो अभी finish हो चुका है glass में. So it seems that the candle got extinguished because the component inside the glass tumbler which supports burning is limited. Most of the component is used up by the burning candle. However, the other candle you can see it still continued to have supply of air. So this component of air which supports burning is known as oxygen. So here we can see that the oxygen is present in air. Nitrogen in activity 3, did you observe that the air is still present in the glass even after the candle blew out? This indicates the presence of some of the component in the air which does not support burning. So the major part of air which does not support burning of the candle is nitrogen. Here you green portion which indicates nitrogen, and other part blue part oxygen which is 21%, and other gases are also present in the atmosphere. Now let us check it about the carbon dioxide. In a closed room, if there is some material is burning, you may feel suffocation. Why we feel suffocation? Because we do not get enough of the oxygen to breathe, and as the carbon dioxide is also too much of there. So because of the this is what you can say, that the presence of carbon dioxide. Now plants and animals consumes oxygen for respiration and produce carbon dioxide. Already all the living organisms, when they inhale, During the expiration, they all use oxygen, and when they exhale, they give out carbon dioxide. Advised not to burn dry leaves and discard remaining of the crops. Don't burn it because burning of these leaves pollute the surroundings and it gives out carbon dioxide and smoke to the atmosphere. Dust and smoke. The burning of fuel also produces smoke, whether it is petrol, diesel, coal, whatever it is. It forms smoke, and the smoke contains few gases and fine dust particles, which is harmful for the health of all the living organisms. That is why when you see long chimneys in factories, even in the olden times, we were having chimneys at the rooftop of the house so that we can rid of the smoke from the house or the factories. But where does the smoke reach? It reaches to the sky, and in the sky the birds are flying, so it is harmful for the birds. So dust particles are present in the air, here we can see, but smoke is very harmful for all the living organisms. Find a sunny room in your school or home, close all the doors with curtains, pull down to make a dark room. Now open the door to or window facing the sun just a little in such a way that it allows sunlight to enter the room only through a slit hole where you can see the beam of sunlight passing through it, and you can see that white shade. So these all is dust particles present in the air. We have seen this at our home or somewhere places where you can see the beam of sunlight. Even in the trees, from the trees also, through the trees you can see that the beam of sunlight filter in which dust particles appear to dance merely around. So it's a beautiful scene when you see this sunlight passing through some wood or trees, and you can see dust particles moving around. This shows that air contains dust particles. The presence of dust particles in air varies from time to time and from place to place. Through we inhale air when we breathe through our nostrils. Fine hair and mucus are present inside the nose to prevent dust particles from getting into the respiratory system. Okay, so this is the thing what stops dust particles to enter our body. That is fine hair which are present in a nose and also the mucus. Policemen regulating the traffic at a crowded crossing often wear a mask. Nowadays we are also wearing a mask in order to prevent disease and also for our protection. So please wear mask compulsory. Recall being scolded by your parents when you breathe through your mouth. If you do that, harmful dust particles may enter your body. So please always inhale, take breathing through your nose. Don't use your mouth because nose prevent dust particles enter our body, but not our mouth. Now here we can conclude that air contains some gases, water vapor and dust particles. So here we conclude that the gas in the air are mainly nitrogen, oxygen, water vapor and dust particles. However, the air is a mixture of gases. Air contains nitrogen, that is 78%, 21% of oxygen, and in fact, these two gases together make up 99% of the air. The remaining 1% is argon, carbon dioxide, ozone, hydrogen, helium, and neon. Now, how does oxygen become available to animals and plants living in waters and soil? Let us do one activity again. Now, here we will find out how the animals living in water and in soil breathe. Take some water in a metal container or a glass, heat it slowly on a tripod stand. Well, before the water begins to boil, look carefully at the inner surface. When you see the inner surface, what the thing is happening, you can see the small bubbles, okay, that come from the air dissolved in it. Water contains air. So when we heat the water, the air will turns into bubbles. Now the air dissolved in it escapes. Okay, अब वो जो whatever the air is there try to come out from the water as we are heating. So tiny bubbles start appearing in the pan as the water start to heat up. Now this we can prove that the air is dissolved in water. So this air is used by the aquatic animals that live in water, and the land animals use the atmospheric air to breathe. Now another activity is given, activity number 6. Take a lump of dry soil. Now here these all are my friends, our friends, earthworm, rabbit, and squirrel. These people all live in burrows and holes. So how do they breathe? Let us find out. They are also here to find it out. So take a lump of dry soil in a beaker or a glass, add water to it, and note what happens. Do you see? When you add water, what you will see? You will see the air bubbles coming out of the water. Now, why the bubbles coming out of this soil? Because air was already present in the soil. That live in holes, they make space in the soil so that air can penetrate through it. So when the heavy rainfall is there, what you will see, this earthworm coming out of it, even frogs also. So they come out as the water take away the place of air. Those are also make spaces available for air to move in and move out of the soil. So however, when it rains heavily, water fill up all the space occupied by the air in the soil. In this situation, animal living in the soil have to come out for respiration. Okay, so that is why these worms, earthworms, and you can see the frog coming out during the heavy rains. Have you ever wondered why all the oxygen of the atmosphere does not get used up through a large number of organisms are consuming it? All living organisms use oxygen, okay? But why it does not get finished off? Have you ever think about it? Who is refilling the oxygen in the atmosphere? See, we all inhale oxygen. All the living organism, whether it is plant, animals, or human beings, they all needs oxygen to breathe. But we already read about photosynthesis. In this process, plant make their own food, and oxygen is produced along with it. So they take in carbon dioxide and give out oxygen. So this is the process due to which the oxygen remains in the atmosphere and do not get replenished or do not get finished off. So that is why we say plants produce oxygen. It is obvious that animals cannot live without plants. The balance of oxygen and carbon dioxide in the atmosphere is maintained through the respiration in the plants and animals and by the photosynthesis in the plants. So this shows the interdependence of plants and animals, that we all are dependent on each other. You can now appreciate how air is important in our life. There anything uses of air? Have you heard about a windmill? Yes, this is a windmill. Look at it. The wind makes the windmill rotate. The windmill is used to draw water from tube wells and to run floor mills. Windmills are also used to generate electricity. Air helps in the movement of sailing yachts, gliders, parachutes, and aeroplanes. Birds, insects, and bats can fly due to the presence of air. Air also helps in the dispersal of seeds and pollens of flowers of several plants. Thus, air plays an important role in water cycle also. How it does it plays? Let us check it out. So, air is full of water as water vapor. Air is important because it helps water move between these states in process called water cycle. As the temperature drops, means comes down, the water vapor forms clouds, and as it condenses, clouds return water to the ground in the form of rain, sleet, or snow. So this is why how the air plays a role in water cycle. So here so many things we have learned about the air. That is, check it out, air is found everywhere. Okay, we cannot see the air, but we can feel it presence. The air which is moving, air is in motion, or we can say moving air is called wind. Air occupies space. Air is present in water and soil. Air is a mixture of so many gases such as nitrogen, which is 78%, oxygen, which is 21%, and other gases like water vapor, dust particles, argon, neon, ozone, helium, which contain 1% of the total. Oxygen supports burning and is necessary for all living organisms. Okay, and what is atmosphere? Atmosphere is a blanket of air or an envelope of air that surrounds the earth. Aquatic animals or animals living in water and the soil use dissolved air which is present in water and soil for respiration. Plants, animals, and we all human beings depends on each other for exchange of oxygen and carbon dioxide for air. So children, here we are getting over with the chapter. I think you might be able to understand about the air. So please watch the video again. So and refer the textbook. Read the textbook. All the activities are given here. You can do the activity by yourself also to find out the presence of air. Thank you.